Hi there, welcome to FusionHQ Presents. This is the exposure to the guru business. Now this is a 4-step formula that almost all the gurus use, and today none other than Leon J, the founder of FusionHQ, will show you how you can do the same in just a few clicks. Hi Leon, welcome.
Great, thanks. Good to be here, Tom. I'm really looking forward to going through this, and exposure, the guru business, it's kind of got a bit of a double play, because what I want to do is I want to show you and expose to you exactly how the guru business works, how most of the internet marketers that you will be following are actually making their money, regardless of what they show you. But also it's about showing you how the gurus get exposure. So there's a kind of like a bit of a twist here, and we'll go through that.
Brilliant, sounds great.
So what exactly can you expect from this presentation? Well, I want to go through the 5 reasons why most people fail online. And it's not just online, but really in any business. And these have come out of a lot of observation over the years of doing business online and speaking to a lot of people at various different events, and talking to a lot of my more successful friends who've managed to break through that struggling period. I'm also, as I explained, going to show you the exact business model that almost every guru actually uses. And like I say, it doesn't really matter what they teach. There's something underlying that all of them are doing, and we're going to show you exactly what that is.
Perfect.
We're also going to show you the simple formula that anybody can use. And this comes from my book, Do Less Work, Make More Money. And it's an actual scientific formula that shows you exactly how to do just that. I'm going to show you the 3 ways to increase profit in any business. And again, these are simple principles that once you understand them, you can apply them in any situation, online or off.
Perfect.
And we're going to show you how to create an entire business without any technical skills or experience. I mean, this is something that, again, we'll demonstrate to you live on this call, and you'll be able to see how simple it actually is.
Now, 1 second. Right now, you've got a picture of a beaten up truck. I mean, most gurus use this part of their presentation with a picture of their Bentley, their brand new Porsche. But why do we have a picture of a beaten up truck in front of us right now?
Okay, so this isn't mine. I'll go by starting to say that, right? However, I do have some ownership over this. If you see the dent in the middle of the passenger door there, I was able to do that unceremoniously by hitting into the side of it with my motorbike.
Right.
I don't recommend you try this at home. But basically what happened was that the truck pulled in front of me at high speed. I was doing high speed and rammed into the side of it. And the end result was that I was unable to walk for about 3 weeks. My laptop was smashed, my tablet was smashed. And, it was a bit of a dent to being able to do business, basically. I was forced not to be able to work for a little while. And, the truth is that had that happened to me a few years ago, I would have really been in trouble. And I'm sure there's many of you here will understand what I'm talking about. If you put yourself in that situation, you've basically got bills to pay, you've got teams to pay, you've got overheads, whatever it may be. You need to eat. And the truth is that unless you've been able to create some form of passive income, you can have a really high-end lifestyle, but if your income isn't automated to be able to handle the level of that outgoing, you're in trouble. No matter whether you've got low overheads or high overheads. Basically, it's about automation and systematization of your business that can really create a freedom in your life.
Brilliant.
This experience was just a realization to me, just exactly how important that was. The fact that when this happened, I didn't have any stress, I didn't have any worries. I was able just to relax and kind of get better. So this is the plan. I want to show you exactly how you can achieve the same. And it doesn't happen by accident. It comes through very careful planning.
So a buzzword that I hear a lot, especially when I was getting into the industry, is you must have a goal. So every time I was at seminars, people were saying you need goals and then you'll be successful. But then what I started to realize was there's people saying their goal is to be rich. Like loads of people saying my goal is to be rich. And then I think I even joined in and said I want to be rich. But could you share some insights to like goals for you and what the importance of a goal is? Because I know there's way more than just saying, I want to be rich.
Yeah. I mean, and this is the thing. There's a lot of misinformation around goals, and goals don't have to be that great or that big. They just have to be suitable to you. And the reality I find is for a lot of people that their goal is simply to get home from work. That is, they're looking at the clock, 5 o'clock comes, and they just want to get home. That's their only goal, really, is at the end of to leave work at the end of each day. And that's a little bit sad. And hopefully, I mean, it's not to say that everybody needs to run their own business or anything else, but if you're doing something you don't enjoy, then have a goal to create something that you do enjoy. Again, this is an unfortunate unconscious mistake that I see a lot of people make when they decide to leave work. What they end up doing is creating a job for themselves, and often this goal is more unconscious, but it ends up happening. If you are one of those people who left their 9 to 5 to end up getting a 7 to 11 job, then you know what I'm talking about. This is okay, I'm going to start my own business, I'm going to be my own boss, and what ends up happening is that your business becomes your boss. Yeah. And there's no escape from it. So being conscious of this, being clear of this in the early days is really important. Oh, I'm jumping ahead there. But short-term cash injections are really what I see a lot of people aiming for. This is a lot of the IM space, with the internet marketing promise of fast money, and the importance and prestige put around launches. And the truth is that a launch can be great, and short-term cash injections can be useful, sometimes essential, but ultimately recognize that it is a short-term goal and recognize the purpose of it in the long-term planning. And then a short-term cash injection can be a very valid goal. But if you keep running from short-term cash injection to short-term cash injection, then you're never really going to break free of that cycle. And I see a lot of people become addicted to this cash injection cycle. And so again, it's about creating some clear goals about how to escape that and how it's going to lead to something that you're really looking for.
That's right, yeah.
And I see for most people, it's really about building passive income. Now, as you may know, I'm currently living in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and we see a lot of digital nomads out here, and they've read 4-hour work week, and they've become location independent and all the other buzzwords that are going around at the moment. And what I really find is that all they've done is created a job for themselves that is now mobile, and that may be great if that's your goal, but for a lot of them, they suddenly realize that actually that goal was very short-term sighted. Well, it's great when you're working a 9 to 5 job, and that's the level of freedom that you want. It's just to simply escape your job, and then they achieve it, and then they actually realize that they're looking for something more. And for most people, it's this passive income that I'm talking about. When you end up with some health troubles or some form of financial crisis or family crisis, where you need to be able to help people out financially, then having that passive income that you can rely on is just so critical. And then finally, the long term, I mean, a lot of us are entrepreneurial. If we get into this game, it's because there's an inner entrepreneur within us. Now, what I found is that a lot of entrepreneurs are creative types. And what that really means is that they're never going to really be satisfied with one business. They're always kind of creating the next one. Well, the only reason we're able to really achieve this and achieve success at the same time is by engineering the business to be an asset that can be sold. Mm-hmm. And for some people, it's simply about creating an asset that can be passed on to their children. And either way, a lot of people I see are structuring their business in the wrong way, because basically they're creating a business that can never be sold. It's dependent upon them. And so again, I just want to be clear. It's not that that's wrong, but just to be clear about it and create that clarity inside of yourself early on is really, really important. So here's the first of the 5 mistakes that I talked about, and this is chasing the shiny object syndrome.
Guilty
as charged. I mean, haven't we all been there?
Yep.
It's like classic, and I see this so often when I go to events, and people have bought course after course. I call them the seminar junkies, and I'm again guilty, going to seminar after seminar, thinking that I'm looking for the answer. And the truth is, I've been given the answer so many times over. It's just I haven't created the clear plan and committed and followed through for a long enough period of time to get the kind of results that I'm looking for. Right. So if you're one of those people who keep getting blinded by promises in sales page after sales page saying, hey, look, this strategy is the latest way to create $100,000 in this short period of time, then you know exactly I'm talking to you. It's shiny object syndrome, and we've got to break free of that. I spent 4 years basically just pouring all of my money into shiny objects. Yeah. And it wasn't that it was all wasted or all lost, but ultimately it was extremely inefficient.
Especially like you said there, that you get the information and maybe we do need it for the certain points of our lives, but to go back to hear the same thing in a different way is kind of like a trapped loop. You're just kind of going in a cycle, and if you're not careful, like you say, 4 or 5 years later, yep, you are a veteran of the seminar junkie world.
Well, this is it. You see so many different ways of making money online, yep, and you keep chasing all of them, then the chances are none of them will ever give a return that they originally promised.
Yeah.
Okay, so mistake number 2 is being distracted by misleading information. Especially when you're trying to learn how to do internet business and marketing, you have to be aware that people are experts in marketing who are trying to sell you. Therefore, they're going to use information to try and guide you to the end result that they want, which is to sell you their product. So they're going to use information, and humans are inherently lazy. I mean, we're all guilty of this in terms of not thinking things through. And, it's very easy to use statistics and numbers to sway our opinion unless you've got something to counteract.
And I guess with that one as well, when you say that, with the marketers, what I learned was watch what they're doing and watch the structure of how things are happening rather than exactly what they're saying sometimes.
Exactly. So just to give you an example here, so 4 out of 5 consumers uses a smartphone to shop. Now, this is the kind of statistic that would be used to sell some form of mobile app development software, maybe some mobile marketing course, some form of online shopping cart specifically designed at mobile phones. There's so many different products out there that could use this statistic to try and tell you that you should be mobile focused. Yet, here's another interesting statistic from the same year, and that's that shoppers make less than 3% of annual purchases on mobile devices. Now, I'm not saying making mobile websites is wrong. I'm not saying that whatsoever. But you have to understand that in proportion to the overall amount of spending, smartphone shopping is extremely minimal. And you have to remember that the majority of those purchases, we're talking things like, an iTunes store purchase, some music perhaps, or a video, or mobile apps, of course, yeah. And the number of people who go on and actually purchase real products in the tangible world, or digital information products, etc., through a smartphone is extremely, extremely minimal. And the other thing to point out here, on the bottom statistic, it says mobile devices. Now these include like iPads and tablets.
Which is huge.
Which is a huge percentage of the market, and they're actually more akin to using a laptop than they are using a mobile phone. So again, it's very, very important not to be misled by a lot of information. Okay, so mistake number 3 is simple lack of clarity. And again, I've come across this so many times when people come to me at events and they ask me, is your software suitable for me? Or is this course suitable for me? And I'm like, well, I'm the wrong person to tell you that. So you see, if you're clear in your business, you will know which software is right for you. You will know which training that you need next. Because you have clarity, you can make the right decisions in your business. And if you're unable to sit down and just simply map out your business on a sheet of paper and be very, very clear about the process or the flow within your business, then it's going to be very, very difficult to make the right decisions.
So you're saying almost like, when I look at this now, you've got mistake number 1 is people are chasing the shiny objects, and then you've got all this misleading information. And if those really aren't, you haven't got clarity with those, you then lose the clarity within your business, because you're then chasing something that might not be you, following some information that might not be right, and then almost creating a confusion.
Oh, absolutely. And so, this is my goal on this call, is to help you through that confusion, to help you gain that clarity. And we'll actually look in just a moment at the exact business structures that successful businesses are really using. So on to mistake number 4, trying to do everything alone.
Yes.
Guilty?
I think I'm very guilty, and I'm actually sweating a little bit because this is hitting home. I mean, for me, I started a music booking agency, and first thing I thought when I did some shows and tours was, this is great, I can handle this, I can do everything. Then the more shows came, and what I soon realized was I was doing everything. I was burning out, and then if I had put a team in place, I probably would have tripled it, quadrupled it. But my whole thing of, I'm going to do this, it's my vision, it's my dream, I'm responsible for this. And I almost felt like if I was to share it with other people or have other people, they wouldn't do it as good as me.
No. And again, this is an entrepreneurial trap where we think we're the best at everything. And, in some cases we are. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we're very, very good at what we do. And in other times we're just self-deluded. But either way, it doesn't matter, right? Because when I started trying to do my business, again, I was trying to build the websites, I was trying to do the design, I was trying to build the product, I was trying to do the copywriting, I was trying to generate the traffic, I was trying to deal with customer support. The list goes on, make my own videos. So how can I basically become an expert in all of these areas, mm-hmm. right? I can't, and I don't have time to do everything to the level and quality that is required to create a competitive business. Not in today's day and age, especially as the technology is progressing at such a high speed that it's barely possible to keep up in terms of the education. Forget actually the implementation, and across so many different areas of speciality required to run a business. So you have to try and either team up. And you definitely need to increase your size of your team. But the other alternative, of course, is to use software or systems or solutions out there that minimize the size of your team. And this is especially important when you're first beginning because, of course, every dollar is critical in terms of the way that you choose to invest it.
And that's brilliant, and it's really great when I came out here to first met you, just to see how you structured your team at Fusion is amazing. You've got individual people focusing on their talents, and really it's just bringing the best out of them. I mean,
well, it does, and it also gives us more fun, right? Because there's certain areas of our business that we're going to enjoy working on more than others. And if we can find the areas where we're really skilled and we're really passionate, and then find other people to work with that are also passionate and skilled in the areas that we don't like or are not good at, then of course it means we can grow and build a product and a business that is going to be far more efficient and far more fun to work in.
Definitely.
All right, so mistake number 5 is trying to be too cheap on the wrong things. Now again, this comes from my own personal experience, and I am guilty as charged all day long in my early days on this one, and my classic memory of this was really when I tried to invest in an autoresponder, and I'm looking at trying to avoid monthly fees on the autoresponder, so I bought one of those self-hosted solutions, and I tried the ones that you can use on the desktop apps, mm-hmm. That would build the lists somehow from there and trying to email and contact people from my desktop. That was horrible. Then I tried using my own installed script on another server, and that kind of kept breaking. And then it started off with great deliverability and then went terrible because I started learning about IPs and IP whitelisting and started realizing what a nightmare and how much effort was required with that. Basically. And then every time I had to keep swapping autoresponder, I was going through this process where I'd have to rebuild all my forms on all of my different sites. I'd have to try and transfer the lists. And of course, you get a good autoresponder. Most of them won't even let you import your list. It was and then the email sequences. That was just one small piece of my business that caused me so many nightmares, so many upgrades. And if I'd have just bought the right thing in the first place from day one, I wouldn't have had any of that stress, and my business would have been 10 times more efficient.
So talk about cutting corners and backfiring, that was a major one.
Oh, crikey. And the number of times I've spoken to people about this, and they sit there and they look at me and go, oh yeah, that makes sense, but I'm different.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're not. I wasn't different, you're not different. the principle of being too cheap applies to everybody, and it's not something that's suddenly going to go away. It's like people say, and same with team building. I made the same thing. Oh yeah, I'll invest into it once I start making money. No, you start making money once you've invested into it.
It's the trap, yeah.
That's I know it's a kind of catch-22 to a certain degree, but you just got to find a solution.
Yeah.
And that's just the reality of things.
Okay, so I'm looking at this now, and it says do less work, make more money, and that was obviously the title of your book. But part of me now, after what we've talking about, has my scam radar on alert, because you say do less work and make more money, but in serious or honesty, can you do less work and make more money? Or, I mean, tell me a bit about this, because I know people at home will be thinking,
yeah. I mean, here's the irony, right? So, yes, I know it creates like the scam radar alert emotionally. Yet, if you're on this call, it's because you believe intellectually that it's possible, right? This is what we're searching for. So there's this kind of balance between the emotional and the intellectual conflict. At the bottom line is we want to do less work and we want to make more money. Yet, something in us tells us that that's wrong. Society tells us that this isn't quite possible. So, I've had this argument with a lot of people over the years, and I came up with this formula to try and demonstrate that it was actually possible. And this is the formula that I now use, and I've taught many other people, and they've also used it to really make their business more efficient, to make their investment more efficient. Because at the end of the day, I made this mistake where I invested in training after training after training after training. And I kept thinking it's a secret. There's a secret that's eluding me, right? And that's what we're all sort of taught to believe when we read a lot of sales pages, that there's this missing secret to success. And the truth is that this is the secret to some degree. That is that you need to be able to balance your training, your teams, and your tools so that you can leverage your time to get the maximum result. So the formula is simply T plus T plus T multiplied by T equals R. Or training plus team plus tools multiplied by time equals results. And so you can see that you can invest a heck of a lot into training, but if you've got no team and you don't have very good tools, then it's going to take you a large amount of time to get an equivalent result. If we've got a really good team, but they don't have the right tools, then again, it's going to take that same team a lot more time to get the same level of result. Now, we don't expect people to be able to build a house overnight without having the right tools. And we know that if we have a bigger team and they have better tools, then they can build a better house much quicker.
Yeah.
And that's just the reality. The results can be better and in less time when everything is created and balanced equally between the training, the teams, and the tools. So I just encourage people to really look at their own business and say, well, where have you been investing in and where is your areas of weakness? See, we're afraid to invest in the team. We're afraid to invest into the tools because we somehow think that we're missing that secret that eludes us. And we're not. We just simply are not investing in the right areas.
And I guess it's very easy, when you have this formula out there. For example, when I think back to the music, I can see straight away the key element is the team. I have me and one other person. And that shows me the weakness there was the team, and then I wasn't using the team to leverage the tools, and yeah, it creates a business that will only go to a certain level.
Yeah, and it just takes a lot longer to get not very far.
Yeah.
That's the reality, And if we go in and we look at people who are super successful, often it's not because they've got this amazing kind of strategy or they've got this secret that they've been trying to hide from everybody else. It's just simply that they've created a good solid team around them, they've invested in some proper tools, and they've just carried out some solid business basics. That's it. Focusing on the basics.
Yep.
And we get hung up on all of these latest fads and fashions for traffic generation or tricks or loopholes or scams or everything else. They're only going to carry us so far and for so long.
Like you say, and it reminds me of the basic principles have always been there throughout time. But the tricks, tips, fads, shiny objects will come and go.
Yep, absolutely. So, as you mentioned earlier, really what we need to do is to do as the gurus do, not as they say. Now, that's not to say that a lot of gurus out there don't have some valuable information to share. They absolutely do. And some of them have, some real golden gems that can really leverage our business, and I really appreciate those pieces of information and the new ideas and strategies that are coming out all of the time. But ultimately, we can learn so much more simply by watching what they're actually doing. And if you look, anybody who's a guru is teaching information. You know, that's one of the basic principles, is that they're almost all teaching information. The other thing is, how are they generating the traffic? Well, in a lot of cases, they're using affiliates, or that's one of the primary methods of traffic generation for a lot of gurus in the IM space. And so don't look at what, I'm not saying that they're not making money from social media. I'm not saying that they're not making money from SEO or PPC or anything else. What I'm saying is, look at how they are making money right now, and how did you find them? Where did you come across this particular guru, and what is it that they're actually doing when you're buying their product? How are they actually making money at that particular moment? And when you start breaking down those kind of questions, you start getting some more interesting answers. And this doesn't cost anything. Anybody can do this. If you go out and study a bunch of different gurus, you'll find that each of them have their different areas of speciality, but there's some consistent things that you can see that each of them are doing to brand themselves, to generate traffic, and to actually generate money selling information products. So that's what I really want to be able to focus on this call, is the consistent things that are working.
And I guess with that as well, you've got the results as well speak, because a lot of really good businesses, their business markets itself in some aspects, because they really are having the results and making things happen.
Absolutely. So here's a little map that I created. There's a lot of business models online, and what I wanted to do was try and find basically a checklist for myself that I could identify whether or not that business model was worth following. And so, these are basically my sort of 6 checkpoints, if you will, that a business needs to be sustainable. I'm not interested in investing a large amount of time or effort or money into trying to grow a business that's just going to die a week later. It just doesn't make sense, or even a month later. I want something that's going to keep going and going and going. I also want something that's not going to be limited. Obviously, everything has a limit to a certain point, but it needs to be able to meet my financial objectives. It needs to be scalable to the point where I'm not going to get frustrated with it very, very soon.
Yeah.
I want something that's systematizable. Now, I don't even think that's a real word, but you know what I mean.
Good.
Basically, it needs to be automated.
Yeah.
Something that I can let sort of set and forget, because I've got a life, and I sometimes it throws unexpected curveballs, like slamming into the side of a truck, as you do. Other times I just want to go, like last year I went off to Nepal and spent a month in Nepal, and there's no internet where I was, so it just had to just keep running. This 4-hour work week concept wasn't going to work for me, because that assumed that you could still get online for 4 hours a week. I was offline for a month.
Yeah.
So I just knew I had to know that things were going to run with or without me.
So with that one, it's like if you are to remove yourself, the business will still work and operate, even if it's under the guidance of a team.
Exactly.
It's still going to carry on without you.
And that also means that the basics are running, so I can focusing on the scaling.
Yeah.
And that's really important. Of course, it needs to be profitable.
Yeah.
I don't, I believe that a business will run efficiently without money. I'm not that naive. So it has to be able to generate profit. It needs to be proven. Now, yes, there are a lot of very, very big businesses that came out without a proven model. Mm-hmm. Look at Facebook, for example. They tried something that was very, very different, and they've become one of the most profitable companies in the world. However, there's a lot more that you will never know about that never succeeded, mm-hmm. right? The number of businesses that succeed and they get highlighted and shone around, and if you've got huge amounts of money sitting at home that you can throw into something that you believe is going to work that isn't proven, then great, be my guest, go for it, risk it all, and if it works, congratulations. But for most of us, we want something that is a little bit more secure, a little bit more guaranteed. Yeah. And so we want to look for systems that are proven, and I'm not just talking about proven by one person for 1 month or this year. I'm looking for something that's been proven over time.
Yep, consistent.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm also looking for something that's purposeful. I'm not interested in spammy auto blogging or stuff like that. There's a bunch of stuff out there that may well be able to generate some cash. There may well be some proven strategies out there that they can make money with. But does it really return a reward on this life lived? We only have, maybe we have more lives. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I want to make this life count.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to make this life have meaning, and I want to know that what I'm doing each day actually makes a difference to other people, that I can feel proud at the end of it and say, you know what? I was involved in that. I helped do that. And so I want business models that have the potential to create purpose and value in people's lives, not just simply try and rip people off or scrounge a dollar here and there, really providing no or little value.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be known forever as the guy that spammed the internet and got blocked by Facebook.
Right. You just, or selling some low quality product that at the end of the day, sounded good in a sales page but never delivered.
Yeah.
So, these are the two business models that I've identified. Now, it's not to say that, that they meet all of these criteria 100% of the time, but they do meet these criteria when applied correctly. And the first is affiliate marketing. Now, I can hear people screaming already, affiliate marketing, 2,000 years old. The internet's only been around for 20 years. How is that possible? Well, I want you to redefine affiliate marketing for one moment and think of it as commission-based selling.
Yeah.
It's the man in the middle. That has been around for centuries, and it works. Somebody finds somebody who's looking for something, and they introduce somebody else who has a good quality product, and they make the connection, and rightfully so, they get their commission for their time of putting the two parties together. Mm-hmm. Now, on the internet, we call that affiliate marketing. And the great thing about the internet is we can now automate that process.
Yeah.
And that's just phenomenal. That really, to me, is just amazing, because now we've taken a business model that's really worked and we can now apply it to that sort of scalable and sustainable and automatable kind of philosophy. The other is being a product owner. And on the internet, a large amount of those products are information products, and I love information products because they're so scalable and it's so low cost to implement and so low cost to deliver with such high profit margins. It's just amazing, just absolutely amazing. Of course, it doesn't have to be digital information. We can create all sorts of products online, but we'll look at that in more as we go. So here's a basic system model, if you will. This is a basic business model that shows us exactly how a lot of people have structured their business. You see on the sort of middle here, we've got the lead capture page, landing page, squeeze page, lead page, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But basically, that's where we capture a name and email address. That's where we build our list. You've heard it said, the money is in the list. Well, the money is in the list. So we want to really build that list up. Now, it doesn't matter. We can look at multiple different forms of traffic generation. And, I don't think that there's necessarily a perfect form of traffic generation. I just think there's different forms of traffic for different people.
Yeah.
And once you've identified which is best suited to you or to your team, then you can send that traffic and capture those leads and start selling your products. You're also sending that lead to your autoresponder, and your autoresponder is then sending out emails automatically to then further sell your products or to recommend affiliate offers, where again you are monetizing that list. And of course, if you do sell a product, then they're sent to your thank you page and typically to a membership site or some other area to access that content that you've just sold them. So this is a very, very simple layout for most online businesses that you can sort of fine tune to match your needs.
Yeah.
Now, if we understand that, then we can understand how these 4 steps now fit into place. So I promise you the 4 steps. So step 1 is to build your list. And, like I say, there's multiple ways of driving traffic or capturing leads, but essentially that's the first stage, is to start building a bit of a list. Then we can start generating revenue from that list by simply promoting other people's products. As an affiliate, we can make money like straight away.
Yeah.
And that's the great thing. We don't need to write the sales copy. We don't need to create the product. We don't need to deal with customer support. We don't need to figure out our conversions. We just simply need to go out there and just start sending traffic to somebody else. And we can start enjoying a piece of that pie. And the great thing is, of course, with many affiliate commissions being up at around 50% or more, we can actually share, enjoy the lion's share with the least amount of effort. I mean, it begs the question, why would you ever move on to step number 3, which is to build and sell your own products? Well, there's a lot of benefits to that. It does mean that we're actually now making 100% of the sale price, so that we can invest into, we've got more revenue there to invest into other forms of lead generation. We can actually afford to start buying traffic, which is a huge benefit. It also creates authority status so that we can now have more credibility within our markets, which actually means that our affiliate recommendations have now more weight.
Yeah.
It also gives us the advantage that we can now move to step 4. And step 4 is that we can now find other people to promote our products. See, we have a lot of affiliates, and those affiliates can be experts at SEO. They can be experts at social media. They can be experts at, list building, at pay-per-click, at banner advertising. You name it, we've got affiliates that are out there doing it, and they're doing it 24/7. Mm-hmm. That means people are sending me traffic 24/7, and I'm only paying them if I get a sale. That means no money up front, no effort. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a bit of work involved in getting an affiliate program running, and you have to have a good product with good conversions. Yeah. But this is an essential step in this process of scalability. And the great thing is that when people buy my products, I am now building my list. I'm building my list of customers, and this is the most powerful list of all. Not all lists are created equally. There's a big difference between a free opt-in list and a buyer's list. And so here I'm actually able to build my list of buyers as well as free opt-ins, and basically that gives me more people that I can now promote other people's affiliate products to. It means that I now have a bigger list, so that when I release new products, I have more sales up front and directly because I own that list. And so the cycle continues. And if you look at this, you can see over the lifetime of many of the gurus, you can see how they've moved through this exact cycle, and they keep going around and around and around, and each time their products get bigger or more expensive, they get more affiliates on board, they build their bigger lists. It means that when next time that there's a big product launch, they're the ones at the top of the leaderboard because now they've got the fresh buyers lists. It means that they've got more targeted customers, they've got more credibility in that market, and therefore they'll build their next product, the cycle goes around and around and around. Scalability.
And what I really would say to anyone else who's listening or watching is really write this down, or really take a note of this, because it appears to be very simple, but if you stick this on your wall, or you stick this and remember this, it's so key, because like Leon was saying, you can really start to see how people are doing it in the business. And even when you first showed me this, I was like, that seems quite simple. Hang on a minute. There's actually a lot of depth to this.
It's extremely profound, because it means that you know where to target your effort and energy right now. If you know where you are in that cycle right this minute, it means that you know where you should spend your money or your time. So loads of people I know, they're trying to build their product right now, but they don't even have a list to sell it to.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's not that you can't jump in and build a product later on, it's just that you don't know for sure that anybody's going to want it.
Yep.
It means that you've got nobody to sell it to. It means you've got no list to test it to. You've got nobody to test conversions to, which means it's harder to get affiliates on board later because you don't have any EPCs, your earnings per click. Yep. And so essentially, this is just the most efficient and effective way. And of course, efficiency is far more powerful when you create focus. If you're able to focus on list building, it means that your list building is going to be more effective than if you're trying to do all four of these things at the same time.
Sure.
And so, if you understand this, apply it to your business, you're going to get more results far quicker.
Okay, so now if you're listening, watching, I'm looking at this slide and all I can see is so much rubbish and so much trash. It seems that the trash has taken over the road and a 4-lane road has become 1 lane, and I'm guessing that's India. Without being judgmental, that looks like India, or I don't know. Tell me about this, because at the top you've got without systems there's chaos, and
all right. So actually, it's not India. It's actually Italy.
Right. Okay.
This is a first world country, as it were, and essentially what happened here is this was an ongoing problem for Italy, and they just simply didn't have the systems to be able to cope with the amount of rubbish they were creating. And every time they tried and clean it up, it was already building up again somewhere else in the city.
Right.
And it was just, they just couldn't get on top of it for several years. And it wasn't until one of the leaders came in and changed the systems and made the systems more efficient and more effective that they finally got on top of the problem. Now, when I looked at this slide, and I first saw this photo, it just reminded me of my business emotionally. When I first started out, I just felt like this. Every day I would wake up, I just felt like I was never on top of it. There was always too much to do, more to do than, and every time that you put out one fire, there was 10 more erupting somewhere else.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I figured out systems. And I know this is one of those horrible words that are just emotionally cold and dead. They create fear in many of us. But the truth is that we should embrace them, because they create efficiency in our lives that gives us the freedom to live the life the way we want to. It gives our business the efficiency to grow more effectively with far less effort and with less investment. And the truth is that it is far easier to put systems in place before the mess builds up than it is to clean up the chaos afterwards. So this is a comment that Adam gave me. Actually, I just copied and pasted it straight out of Skype. It wasn't. I didn't ask him for a testimonial or anything. But he used to be using WordPress, and this is a perfect example of that, where he was running WordPress, using all these different plugins, configuring them all, and then running these launches in the Warrior Forum. And he would do pretty well out of these launches, but his business model was to do launch after launch after launch.
Yeah.
And so efficiency meant everything in terms of the amount of money that he could generate each year. And he was in the middle of doing this thing, and he was just, basically, because he was using FusionHQ, it just saved him days or weeks of setup, essentially. And that's money. That's real money. And he understood that. So 3 ways to increase profit in any business. I promised you this kind of golden nugget. And again, this may seem super simple, but how many of you, watching this can honestly say that you have a strategy to apply each of these 3 things within your business? Because if you sit down and you look at each of these 3 things and say, how am I achieving this in my business today?
Yeah.
So the first one, simple, increase number of customers. And that's the one most people think about, right? How am I increasing the number of customers? And it's all, for a lot of people online, that's just simply about generating more traffic.
Yeah.
The second is to increase the customer value. Basically, how can I make more money per customer? Simple as that. And again, this goes back to that, lemming thinking, the one-click marketing or the last-click marketing and front-end sale philosophies. We've got to look at going beyond that.
And the sustainability of it as well is obviously providing that value that's going to outlast your competition.
Precisely. And then finally, to reduce operation costs.
Systematize.
So we'll look at each of these 3 and just break down and give some more sort of tangible examples of how you might achieve this. So the first one is increasing the number of customers. Now I mentioned, a lot of people, it's about increasing traffic. So you've got Google, YouTube, Facebook, affiliates. There's a bunch of different ways out there that you could generate more traffic to your website.
Yeah.
And it's about having the end goal in mind. What traffic generation methods are you going to use? Because when you know that, then you know how to structure your business correctly. Like if you're doing SEO, you're going to need an SEO based website. A lead page or a landing page just isn't going to cut the mustard.
Yeah.
You know, and so if you're going to plan to use affiliates, then does your system have an affiliate tracking system integrated into it, or are you going to have to get one? And if so, which one are you going to use, and how does that integrate with the platform that you're setting up? See, too many people come across these problems because they set everything up first and then think, how am I going to generate my traffic afterwards? And then realize they haven't actually thought this through properly, and that the systems are just not set up correctly. You need to be able to capture leads. Now, how does this increase customers? Well, if you're honest with yourself, you will know that the majority of people who first visit a website leave and never come back.
Yep.
So if they leave and they don't come back, you've lost the sale. Whereas if you're able to capture that lead and then you can keep following up with them, every good salesman knows that, you know, they've got this like rule of thumb where basically the sale is made on the 5th or the 6th contact.
Yeah.
Now, if we know that from offline sales and we apply that to online, we realize that by capturing leads and having an autoresponder go out there and follow up is going to give us the majority of our sales. If we don't have an ability to do this, we are getting a small fraction of the potential revenue from our business. And I mean a small fraction. So if you're one of these people out there that has a website and a product setting on it, but you're doing nothing to capture your leads and you're doing nothing to follow up with them, and you're wondering why you're not making any money, I can say straight away, this before you even bother throwing more traffic at it, fix this hole. Yeah. Because it's going to give you the biggest return on your investment today by far. And of course, you want to increase conversions. Now, if you don't have any form of split testing system, for example, in place, there is no way that you're going to be able to increase your conversions with any form of accuracy. You need to know what is working, period. And so if you don't have split testing in place, there is no way you can tell, and there's no way that you can be continually improving those conversions. So again, that's another big thing that I would recommend that people put in place straight after they've started capturing their leads before they actually start focusing on more traffic.
Yeah.
So, pop quiz.
So, being British and that, you'd have to put a pop quiz in, wouldn't you?
I would. And today's pop quiz is, which online marketing method returns the highest return per dollar? And the answer is, drum roll please, it's email. You see here, email, and okay, I'll tell you straight up, yep, those of you spotted, this is 2011 statistic, right? Email bringing $40.56 for every dollar spent, compared to catalogs, return, search engine, optimization, internet or mobile returns. You see, everything else doesn't come close. Doesn't come close to email. Now, actually, I checked out the DMA's latest statistic, and they're now claiming that it's a 4,300% return on investment for email marketing. So the actual numbers have gone up, not down since 2011. The reality is email is by far the most efficient way to get a return on your advertising dollar.
Yep.
Now, that doesn't mean you don't put some money into advertising on mobile, or it doesn't mean you don't do SEO. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that if you're starting a new business, would it be more sensible to put your money into something that's going to give you a lower ROI or something that's going to give you a higher ROI?
Yep. Exactly.
It's not rocket science. Yeah. It's not rocket science, right? If you're sitting there and you've got X amount of dollars to spend and X amount of time to spend, put it into email first and then focus everything after. Once you can start building a team that can start bringing in the SEO dollars, that can bring in the mobile dollars, etc., etc. So, this should create a lot of clarity for a lot of people right now in terms of where they need to be focusing their efforts.
Increasing the customer value.
All right. So, a sales funnel is a simple way to increase customer value. If you've got somebody who's buying something or opting into a list, that moment in time, you know they are hot to trot, right? That is when they are in the buying zone. And we all, any good business knows this, that, like, let's say, for example, if you bought a book on real estate investing, that means you're statistically more likely to buy another book on real estate investing than somebody who's never bought one.
Yeah.
Right? And the statistical probability is that it's going to happen pretty soon after you bought the first one.
Yeah.
Right? And anybody who's bought this knows this. Right? I used to own a heap of books on real estate investing, and they were all bought within a very short period of time. I haven't bought one for a very long time now. Right? And so if we understand this, then we realize that when people are in that buying zone, that's when we need to take advantage. They've got their credit card out, they've got the time, they've got the energy, they've got the motivation, they've got the inspiration to go out there and buy in that moment. So if you don't have an upsell, downsell process in place, you are just leaving money on the table all day long. It's as easy as that.
Exactly.
So one of the first things you can do is to make sure that you have an upsell, downsell process, not to drain the person dry and bleed them to death and beat them until they ask for mercy, but to provide additional value in a process that gives people what they're looking for in the moment that they're looking for it. Reoccurring products, another great way to add additional value, and a good easy way to do this, of course, is with membership sites.
Yeah.
Membership sites provide reoccurring income. Simple as that.
And you're giving value over consistent time.
Yep. Getting a repeat sale.
Yeah.
So that way you can, invest your money into getting that first month's worth of income, acquiring the sale, and then you can enjoy the profit, which comes from the reoccurring sales that happen after.
And I guess if people at home are coaches or they're from sharing information, thought leaders and that, perfect is a membership one. If you've got new information for people and you can give them information over time.
Yep.
It's perfect.
Absolutely. Promoting affiliate offers, this is another really, really simple way to get an ROI, right? So what's the customer value to you? Basically, that means that how much money are you making for each customer?
Yeah.
So if you can now refer other people's products and services to those same customers, that means you make a commission from other people's products and hard work. You've now increased the amount of money that you've made per customer. Very, very simple. Reducing your operation costs. Team efficiency is something that just, people do not focus on. It's as easy as that. You hire a bigger team, and I made this mistake again. I hired a heap of people and then wondered why they weren't getting the same. It wasn't like multiplying myself 10 times.
Yep.
It just didn't work that way. As much as that's my intention, it didn't work. And what I realized is that they were working very inefficiently. But by getting the right tools to the right people, it just sped their job up so much.
Yeah.
So essentially, by creating better communication systems, by using better tools, I was able to increase my team efficiency. And by having a clear plan on my business meant that my team knew what they were doing. Consolidating costs, again, I used to have so many different products and services that all overlapped with each other. And once I started just consolidating them all into one place, then my overheads just went down. Very, very simple. And finally, and perhaps most importantly, is to systematize and to automate. If we can find software and tools that will actually do the job and of a human, then it means we can reduce our staffing costs or have our staff focusing on more important tasks. It also means that it reduces my amount of time, which is actually another tangible cost in my mind.
So again, it links to the first two. You've got your efficiencies going up and you can consolidate costs a bit better.
Absolutely. All right, let's set up a business, shall we? Let's get down to it and see how exactly we can do this with just a few clicks.
Perfect. Let's go for this.
Okay, so this is the FusionHQ dashboard area where we can start looking and controlling our projects and create new ones, which is what I'm just going to do here. I'm just going to click here, and click on Business Kit. And we've got like squeeze pages, or you can build a single website, but we're going to go in, we're adding a whole pile more templates very shortly, but I'm just going to install the one we've got here, which is a fairly standard internet business marketing model. And I'm just going to put in here the company name, so we'll just put FHQ. And we're going to stick it on a domain. I've got a bunch of test domain names in here, so I'll just throw that on it there. And we will upload the site immediately, and I'm just going to click install. So basically what you see this doing at the moment is it's creating the entire structure for an online business. That's including a content site, like an authority website essentially, a membership site with protected pages. It's creating a squeeze page and a sales page. It's creating all of the membership levels, creating an affiliate tracking setup, and mailing lists. So everything is being configured, set up, and customized for my particular account, and then being uploaded live to the internet. So that's exactly what's happening right now. So you can see it's just going to take a minute or so for it to do that.
And that will be so that's basically the whole structure of your business online is now being uploaded for people.
Yeah, this is the same setup and the same structures that used to take us several weeks to put together by patching together different systems. It would be the equivalent essentially to installing WordPress, loading in 2 or 3 different plugins to handle things like membership site scripts, sales pages. It would be the same as trying to configure it and integrate it to your Aweber or GetResponse account, for example. It would be the same as having to install something like Post Affiliate Pro or some affiliate tracking system and then integrating it into all of those systems and those pages. All of that essentially is being taken care of right now, and so everything's automatically configured and interlinked.
So you're saving yourself, I guess, from going through like 10 different windows from 10 different companies, logging with all your passwords, trying to get into each individual system elsewhere, and holding it all in here in this one place.
Yeah. All right. So here you can see it's installed. So I'm just going to edit this, and we can see the different components that make up this project. And this is a fairly typical project for most internet marketing businesses. You're going to need products, you're going to need sales funnels, you're going to need content sites, different membership levels, you're going to need some mailing lists, an affiliate campaign, and associated to that affiliate campaign, different commission levels for your affiliates. So if we go through this a little bit, you see if I click on here, I can have a look, and I've got 3 products that are now set up. And if I hover, you're able to see the number of sales, the amount of revenue that each one has made, and the number of payment plans that are associated to each of these products. I can have a look at sales funnels, and you can see in here we've got our main sales funnel, we have a pop-up, then we have a sales page just for our book, and a sales page just for a special offer. And under content sites, we have a membership site, and we have an authority site. Now, the authority site is, sorry, kind of, the information site.
Yep.
And so the information site is about us. It's to create branding or an authority status for us. And it's really useful for SEO. We talked about trying to create different forms of traffic,
yep,
different sources of traffic. And of course, SEO is one of the primary forms of traffic. Now, you can't do that with a typical sales website, but you can do it with an authority website. So you have lots of pages of content on there, and that's all SEO optimized. Okay. So that would be that site. Our membership site is awesome because we can create drip-fed content, and that creates the reoccurring income that we spoke about when we want to increase value in our business. Mm-hmm. And so both of those have been set up for us. You can see here we have a couple of different membership levels. So our free opt-ins and our special owner offers, our special offer owners, sorry. We have mailing lists and the affiliate campaign. Now, again, the affiliate campaign is really such a valuable tool for driving traffic. For me, one of the primary forms of traffic on the internet is affiliates. And the reason I love affiliates so much is the fact that they will work 24/7 for commission-only results. That's huge, especially when you're first starting out online and you have a limited budget. SEO is great, but it's not always stable because Google, changes its animal of the month, and your rankings can change without warning. So you have a certain degree of control over SEO, but nowhere near as much as I'd like to see in my business. So it's a great additional source of traffic, but affiliates provide me my staple. And if you look at all of the 7-figure launches, and if we look at the guru business, if you look at how the gurus are making majority of their sales, most of them actually come from affiliates. Yeah. Even if they're selling you a product on Facebook, a product on SEO, you know, when you find those products, in the majority of cases, you've actually found that product through an affiliate, or you've been on that person's list and you have found that person originally through an affiliate. Yeah. So affiliates are absolutely critical in the success of a company. And again, just to give you some illustration of this, but you know, one of the largest companies in the world, at one point one of the largest, is Microsoft, of course. And if you look at their history, really what they did there was a really advanced form of affiliate marketing. They integrated with Microsoft so that every time, they integrated with IBM, so that every time IBM sold a computer, Microsoft made a sale. Extremely advanced level affiliate integration deal, basically. You look at Google ads. Google make the majority of their money through advertising. Now, they make a lot from their search ads, but they also make a huge amount from their content network. Now, that's just another fancy way of saying an affiliate program. I mean, every time that you have a content website and are displaying Google ads, you're essentially an affiliate for Google, and you'll make a commission for every time somebody clicks on one of those ads in your site. So you see, even the really big companies use affiliate marketing. Amazon, eBay, a large percentage of their success was driven through affiliates. So you definitely want to make sure that you have a good affiliate campaign set up in your business. Now I'm just going to take you through here, and we're going to break down and take a look at a sales funnel. And if I just edit this, you will see the actual visual map of our sales funnel. And while it's loading, you can see here, this is our start page. This will be our squeeze page, our lead capture page, where we can capture the name and email address. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sell them a book. In this case, you know, it could be our ebook or it could be a physical book, doesn't really matter. But we can make them an offer here. And then we have an upsell here that we can maybe sell, perhaps do a special offer on our DVD course. And then, of course, we have our different thank you pages. The reason I like to break it down like this is because I can get a very clear idea of what's happening in my business. I can see the exact path that people are flowing through, because in each of these boxes, it's going to display the results. And if we're running A/B split tests, which we can do on any of these pages, then the actual results will show up inside of the box. So I can actually see in real time my A/B split test results.
That's perfect.
It's phenomenal.
And also for people at home, it's like a really visual. The system's so visual because now you're actually looking at a bird's eye view of your business, and you can see exactly where each piece of the puzzle and each part of the funnel is going along.
Exactly. And I mean, you know, I'm a visual person. I love mapping things out. I used to map these sales funnels out in Microsoft Visio. Yeah. But the trouble was, then I'd have to give them to a programmer, have them code them, and then I'd make, you know, changes to my design, as you do. But then I'd have to redesign it in Visio, re-export the file, send it back to the programmer, have them update those changes, and the back and forth could take me forever. Now, let's take this example and say I want to throw in a downsell. Yeah. You know, which is a really nice, easy way to add additional revenue. You know, this is the thing with a sales funnel. It's really about increasing the customer value again. And it's a way of automating the sales process. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add an extra page here. So if I add a page, and I can choose a different color, for example, just for reference, and I'm just going to call that downsell, just to make it clear. And we'll just save that. And here's our downsell page. So, you know, before I'd have to recode all of the no thank you or the buy now buttons inside of the sales page. Yeah. What I'm going to do here is just simply reprogram it. And I can move these around. So you can see it's very easy for me to do this. It's phenomenally quick. I can duplicate pages and I can add new pages, and I can just simply disconnect or reconnect and move around essentially anything on this page to create and update my sales funnel. And every time I've made changes, all I need to do then is one click upload, and the changes are automatically made live. So what I'm going to do now is to go in and actually make some changes to the page itself. Let's actually edit this page. And you'll see here we have our squeeze page.
Excellent.
So you see this just loading up, and you know, a lot of people like to do video squeeze pages, and they can be very, very effective. But the problem with a video only sales page is that there's a lot of people that cannot actually watch a video. Yeah. You know, a lot of people will be looking at your sales pages while they're at work. So a lot of people at work are not able to watch video. You know, they're often doing it on the sneaky sly, and they can't have the audio up. Mm-hmm. Others, they just don't have audio on their computer. For whatever reason, it's usually not practical. So, you know, it's really important that you have a brief summary. Just to, think of it as a mini sales page. You know, people are giving you their name and email address. It's costing them a little time. It's costing them a little effort. There's a real value exchange happening. So we want to persuade them that it's worth their time and effort.
Yeah.
And so just a few bullet points, a little bit of a summary, perhaps a testimonial thrown in there, just to help increase credibility and believability. And then we have our opt-in form at the top and the bottom, and a headline here. So it's a very, very simple, small sales page. But of course, this is just a template. Now, the idea is that you can put your own design into this, that you can put your own words into this. So, for example, if I were to click up here, you can see that I can now just simply change the headline by simply typing over the top of the existing one. I can change the video URL simply by clicking and changing the URL inside the options.
So it all really is editable, and it can all be customized to your specific taste or specific style.
Correct. So, and even with the design, like if I come up here, for example, maybe I don't like this hand.
Yeah.
You know, I can click up here. We have our options on the side, and I could just simply flick. You know, we've got some different background options there, but maybe I can just remove them altogether. Perhaps I could, you know, throw in and make this a background color. So you see here now we've made it gray, which is the same gray that we're using down here. So you can create these beautiful looking, and these are all fully mobile responsive sites. And that basically means that we can create these beautiful looking, you know, with a full width. We could put background images in here. You can actually put background video in, and it will automatically resize and fit to the page. And you see even like PayPal doing this now.
Yeah.
So they have their video playing in the background when you go to their homepage. So, you know, you don't need any form of coding skills. You can just go in and simply make changes. If we want to run an A/B split test, now we've talked about split testing. Split testing is the way that we increase conversions. Mm-hmm. Again, one of the really critical key ways to increase profits in any business. So, you know, I knew about split testing for a long time, but I never used it. Why didn't I use it? You know, it was just a pain.
Yeah.
You'd have to install scripts, you'd have to run different programs, and it's just a nightmare. So the theory was great, but the reality is it never happened. However, you'd have to be crazy not to do split testing when you see how easy it is now. So we have our A and our B. You can see B is currently empty. So if I just copy A to B, so yep, now we have an exact duplicate. Now let's say I want to test 3 common mistakes versus 7. Now if I just click this, now I've got this page activated. So now I have an A and a B test running. I just simply click save on that. And now this is saved. I can go back and just simply upload. And now I have an A/B split test running.
To put that into basic terms, so people maybe not as technical, is so the A/B split testing is really like, if I say, for example, one person was telling me that my website would be better if I had a video, and one said it would be better if I had a picture. You could then put the same site with a picture and one with a video, and then just see which one would be better for your business.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, testing headlines is always a really good place to start because it's so fast and so easy.
Yeah.
But you can test anything. You can test the template changes. You can test video changes. You could test completely different layouts. You could test like video auto start versus video not auto start. All of these things that people debate over which is better, you can find out by testing it against your personal audience.
And with that button, you say it's just simple. You know, it was 2 free clicks there, and you had a split test.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, no programming, no coding required. Now, if we go back to our funnel, we can now go and have a look here, and you'll see actually we've got a sales page here.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we're now upselling them. So here we've got a basic page.
Yeah.
And again, it's exactly the same. We can double click on images to change images, or you know, just click and change the headlines very, very fast, very, very easily. And so, you know, anybody can basically do this. This isn't rocket science. Now, if you don't like what we have here, or you want to add more, again, it's not a real problem. Look, you just simply grab a text box, drop it onto the page, put it in there, and you can start typing away. You can grab an image, a video, whatever you want, opt-in forms, buy now buttons, and you know, we've got different modules here with things like countdown timers and Facebook comment systems. And you can just drag and drop these kind of modules onto the page to build out whatever type of page that you're looking for.
It's brilliant, so much.
And again, you know, we can change the width of the different sections. So, or, you know, for example, here we could change the design of the bullet point section.
Wow.
It's really, really just point and click simple. If you want columns, or here, for example, you know, we could drag in, and you see here we can now create a sort of 3 kind of columns, or you know, add images into here, whatever we like. So I'm just going to exit out of here now, because I'm aware that you know, we're kind of going on a while with time, and there's a few more things that I want to show you. Just quick mention here, but we've got the fixed pages at the bottom of the page. This is really, really good because we've got the earnings disclaimers, privacy policies, purchase agreements, etc. They've all been checked and actually verified by a true e-commerce lawyer expert, one of the few experts in the world to specialize in e-commerce law, and they've gone through and approved everything. So that's all in place for you.
Perfect.
And it's not just really for the legal side, but that really helps you get approved for Google advertising, Facebook advertising, and increases your SEO rankings for the SEO sites. Next, if we go and have a quick look at our content sites. So we talked about membership and authority websites. Essentially, they're both content sites. They're both sites with a menu at the top and multiple pages of content. Just a member site has pages that are protected so that not everybody can get access. So if I just quickly click on here, and you will actually see we have a slightly different layout for this particular business. And in this situation, we've gone with a table view so that you know, you can collapse sections, and it just makes it a lot easier to manage your business, to see things when you have a large amount of content in a single website. And here again, we can edit pages, or you know, we can create and add new pages, or find the URL for a specific page if we want to. But what's really cool is this time delay, and you can see here by this particular default template that we've got, it's a 6-week membership site where the pages are automatically drip fed, and each one is coming a week after the next. Now I can add my privileges here if I want, so I can protect the different pages. You can see this is basically a special offer membership level.
Yep.
And so I can just add those in here to make sure these pages are protected. On the home page, you can see we've got it protected, so only people who've opted in for the free report can see this page. Now, all of this is automatically set up and configured for you. So there's really nothing you need to do, but you can always go in and modify and tweak this. So for example, if you wanted to do a monthly membership instead of a weekly membership, then it's as simple as just changing week to months. You can of course delete, let's say it's a five month membership, not a 6 month, then you can simply come in and delete the pages. If you need to add more pages in, then you just add more pages. And again, we've got all of the content, earnings disclaimers, privacy policies, etc. pre-written and embedded for you. If you don't want that, that's fine. You can just simply deactivate them or delete them.
Excellent.
So again, very, very easy to manage. We have site options in here where we can go in and we can actually control pop-ups. We can have pop-ups on our website, and we can define our hosting. We're able to insert universal header code or footer code. For those Europeans in there, we have the EU pop-up, so you can become EU cookie compliant. It's all in here essentially, and we can change the template or the layout without any problems from here. Once again, if we go in and we edit the page, we can see that we have the content already pre-put in here that you're able to go in and simply modify. So you can change your images, you can change your buttons, add more page to the content. But what's really cool is like, okay, so for example, this particular box here, if I go to the advanced tab, you can see that it's only going to show to those people who are unregistered. What that means is that if somebody's not logged in, they're going to see this button. If they are logged in, then they won't. This will completely disappear.
So you're really targeting again, and you're not wasting your efforts and annoying people in a sense.
Well, that's it. And you also means that you can create pages and pages of content for members, but have like VIP content on the same page. So you don't need to have multiple duplications of the same page and manage your pages in a messy manner. You can actually put more content in, or you could create extra boxes that were to show to non-members or lower members and asking them to upgrade. So you could have like mini sales pages that only showed to people who were of a lower membership level or didn't have a membership.
Perfect.
Just up to you entirely how you can configure it. It's very, very flexible. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep going back. We could have a look at the authority website. Again, this is just a content website for establishing our authority. So we could go and have a look at the, we've got basically about us, like if you've got an events listings, perhaps you could put those in there, testimonials page, links to your different products, links to information about different services you may be providing, links to your members area. So all of this has been set up and is basically ready to edit or to customize and to tweak. Now, one thing I forgot to show you is if we go to page options in here, you can see that actually we have all of the metadata, keywords, header code, etc. The title to the page, the slug, that's the bit and the extension on the URL. All of this stuff is basically what you need to tweak for SEO. And so, unlike WordPress, there's not a whole heap of plugins that you need to install. There's nothing you need to really configure. You just need to simply just tweak the keywords and the title, etc. I mean, we have H1 tags, etc. So all of your usual basically on-site SEO side of things is all there, and you don't need to be an SEO whiz, and you don't need to be a programmer to figure it all out. All of the back-end sort of SEO optimization is already taken care of in terms of the programming structures.
And what I love as well is for people out there, it guides you through almost. It's asking you the questions, it's giving you the options, and you can just literally follow those.
Yep. Yeah, this isn't rocket science, none of this. Okay, again, just I know we're running out of time, so I just want to sort of plow through this. But affiliate campaigns. I mentioned the importance of affiliate campaigns, and this is really kind of critical that you have an affiliate program at some point in your business. And so the great thing with FusionHQ is that the campaign is automatically set up for you. All of the tracking code is embedded for you. There's nothing you need to do. So the day, even if you don't want to do it on day one, you know, a month from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, whenever you're ready to start that affiliate program, it's waiting there for you. It's already embedded into the system, and it's just ready to go. And we have a lot of options inside of here that you can customize and fine tune. Things like, you know, is it the first affiliate that refers a sale to you that gets the commission, or is it the last affiliate that refers the commission? What's the cookie length? So, you know, these are sort of some more advanced options for people running affiliate programs. If you don't know what they are at this point in time, don't worry. Just know that we've got you covered. You can create all sorts of tools for your affiliates to use. And again, this is some big advantage over platforms such as, say, ClickBank, that, you know, they've got the affiliate program embedded into the system, but they don't allow you to manage your affiliates. There's no way to contact your affiliates. There's no way to give them specific tools. And so that makes it very, very difficult to really optimize your affiliate program. Whereas with this, we can give them links, we can give them banners, we can give them email swipe, we can give them all sorts of different types of very cool affiliate tools to help them really promote and drive you more traffic. Now, there's one thing I haven't got added in here that I'm going to just add now. So you see here, if I add component, I can add more content sites, more sales funnels, more membership levels. I have all of the different things, coupon codes. Now, coupon codes can be used for creating promotions. They can also be used for affiliate tracking again. You know, we can actually use or set an affiliate coupon to a specific affiliate, and then that's great because they can, you know, it can even be used for offline tracking if we want. The possibilities are endless. But this is the one little feature I really wanted to show you, and that's email funnels. This is something that is I don't know, pretty unique to FusionHQ. I've never seen this done before. So you see, what I'm going to do is just start by creating a list. And basically this is the source of traffic for my autoresponder, and this is essentially what it is. It's a kind of an advanced autoresponder. So I can choose the mailing lists that I want to include in this particular project. So in this case, it's just that one. And now I can filter out people if I want to. So I can target people in specific locations, or owning specific products, or you know, have they even cancelled a membership level. So I can create an autoresponder just to follow up with people who have cancelled being in a membership. And that's really, really important if you want to optimize and really follow up on leads. And that's you know, to increase your revenues again, this is critical.
And especially, you said the owning the products, you know, you can see the people that have bought, people who are interested in what you do. Maybe there's some more advanced training you could offer them.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to add an email, and you'll see it's very similar to our sales funnel process, which is why we've called it an email funnel. But I can actually build this out now where I'm adding more and more pages to my site. And let's say I want to add a time delay in here. Well, I can actually add a time delay. Let's say 1 day. I can even do based on the number of hours. So I've got now in here my 1 day time delay. That's great. But what's really cool now is I can add in a filter. So here's my filter. And what that means is I can filter out people who did or did not click on a specific email, who did or did not open an email, who are or are not a member or owner of a specific product. So if I wanted to create a promotion, let's say, for an ebook, and I could put a filter in here that said owns this ebook. And that means that if they don't own this ebook, I can send them a specific email that owners will not get. And then I can simply continue the path in this way. Mm-hmm. And that way I can actually target people who don't own the product. And this is absolutely, again, really important about email marketing, is this hyper targeting of prospects, so that you're not bothering people with products they already own. Again, increasing conversions and automating and systematizing my business. I can also throw in affiliate offers. So, again, this is one way we talked about increasing the profits in our business, is to promote other people's products. Very easy, very, very simple. And I can simply make automated promotions in here. And this is akin to really creating an automated cash machine. It's just like having your own automatic ATM, but it's like legal. It's that cool. Okay, we're building out the sales funnel. Of course, we can build this out as crazy as we like. We can extend on forever, essentially. Once we reach the end of a line, we can add an action. And this could, for example, actually redirect them to a different funnel. So if we had multiple funnels, once they reach the end of one, I could then simply send them and automate them to the next one. Again, all about automation and follow-up. What's super cool though is this little feature here. And when we're writing our emails, there's a tool that we call our magic link. And this is something that is not in our basic Fusion Pages account, but it is in something that's in the FusionHQ account. It's something that you're really going to want. Honestly, I've never seen anything quite like this again, and it's the backbone to our email marketing. I mean, email marketing, we talked about, gives you the biggest response. Well, if you want to make a bigger response from your biggest response, this is the tool that you need. So I can make it go to my specialoffer.com, and so this is going to go to my special offer page. As long as they click on this link before 36 hours. And if not, they go to offerexpired.com. So now I can create scarcity in my emails. I can create evergreen launches. I can create automated special promotions to my subscribers in a very, very real way. What's more is I can actually add more of these time links. So I can create a tiered effect where if they go within a certain time period, they go to the first link. Within the second time period, they go to the second link. In the third time period, they go to the third link. Or if you really want to get fun, you can make it based on the number of clicks. So you can see here, if, for example, the first 20 people will go to the first URL, the next 20 people will go to the next URL. And so again, I can create, real urgency and scarcity, and I can use these in my email broadcasts or in my email follow-ups. All very cool, but what about this? I can also actually make it so that when they click on the link, if they click on the link inside the email, then I can add them to a different email funnel. Or I can actually choose to remove them, or should I say, or I can choose to remove them from this email funnel. That, again, is gold. Because, for example, if I'm doing marketing and I want to target people that I know are interested in a specific subject. Now, if we're talking about internet marketing, right, you could be interested in membership sites. You could be interested in list building. You could be interested in affiliate programs. That's all great. But I don't know which one you're interested in. And if I have content on all of those, it's better that I give you the content that you are most interested in this present moment, so that I could then say, hey, if you're interested in membership site, click here and I'll send you some free information on how to build a membership site. They click it, they get added to the membership site funnel, right? That's brilliant, because now they are getting exactly what they want. The retention rates are far higher, the response rates are far higher. I can target my affiliate offers far more precisely, so I'm going to get a much better return on any affiliate offers that I choose to promote.
That's great.
It's absolute gold. And so that's something that's extremely powerful with inside of the autoresponder. So you can see it's very, very easy. I can just simply keep building out my project and adding new projects and managing everything. You know, the other thing I can do, I didn't show you here, but I can actually add team members. So I can actually give access to different team members, for example, my customer support or my affiliate manager, and I can restrict the access so that they can only access certain parts of the system or have certain privileges within the system. And if they should leave my team, then I only need to delete that one user, because every single user has their own unique name and password for logging in. Again, it's all about efficiency. And ultimately, you know, this basically means that you've consolidated all of your costs. Again, one of our key ways of making more profit in any business, as well as systematization and automation. You know, everything is designed to be systematized throughout, from beginning to end. From basically, you know, you systematize the customer acquisition process by using affiliates. You use the conversions and follow-up using sales funnels, and then using email funnels. You can give far more team leverage by making the system much more easy for team members to use. And again, that creates systems. So now for example, my customer support is systematized because I have a team that can handle that side of things and that can access the data that they need.
It's excellent. So much, like I say, just using it myself and seeing it, there's so much efficiency that Fusion brings, and really does take a big weight off your shoulders.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, let's go back and just go back to the PowerPoints and just kind of wrap up some of the key learnings from this particular talk.
A cliche but important question. Now, this again is one I'm guilty of. Are you working for your business, or is your business working for you?
Right, and this comes back to all those digital nomads I talked about before. You know, they've created an location-independent lifestyle and all the other buzzwords, but at the end of the day, they are still working for their business. They are still tied to their laptop, and there's no way that they can escape that.
And sorry to interject, but in some way, you're working in an office in a beautiful country, but you're not actually seeing the country.
Correct. And I mean, it doesn't matter, even if you're not traveling, even if you're sat there at home, right? Yes, you've freed yourself up from going to work and commuting. That's a big step. That's a very important and valuable step. But it hasn't really freed you up to give you the time to focus on what you really want to do.
Yep.
So, you know, just try and look at what you can do in your business to really create that freedom. And, you know, here's something, talking to Chris Bloor recently, and for those of you in the UK, you're probably familiar with Chris. They've been, him and Vince, his partner, have just been totally killing it recently. And they've built most of their sites now on FusionHQ. And they just said, you know, really, it was like going, compared to WordPress, it was like going from carrier pigeon to state-of-the-art broadband. It's just transformed their business. It's as simple as that. You know, the level of automation and systematization that it's given to their business has transformed the way they do business. And that really comes to this point here, which is, you know, the game has changed and it's going to continue to change. You really can't do today's job with yesterday's tools and be in business tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, it's like using the fax machine as your main operation of communication.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine you're still stuck on telegraph. I mean, it's a joke, right? We laugh, but the truth is there's a lot of people trying to do business online today that are using software and technology that is already outdated. Things are moving so fast on the internet that there are so many people who are just about remaining in business today with yesterday's tools, but they are going to be out of business tomorrow unless they catch up real fast. So here's a bunch of ways that you can actually automate and things that you can look at automating in your business. And if you're not doing this already, you should be. So things like, for example, automatically configuring FTPs, DNSs, and CDNs. And if you're freaking out, you should be. You shouldn't even need to know what they are, let alone having them automatically configured.
Yeah, that's me confused.
Right. Setting up website structures. You know, those days are long gone. They should be done for you. Automating affiliate tracking and setup.
Massive.
Massive. Avoiding plugins and other patches. It blows me away. I mean, I used to use WordPress, right? It blows me away the number of people who are still using a blog to try and create a sales funnel. It just doesn't make sense. Why are you using something that is designed to do something else and forcing it to do something different by trying to patch it and hack it together?
With your 100 plugins, which are then miscommunicating with each other.
Right. I mean, seriously, do you think a real company does that?
Yep.
They don't.
Yep.
It's just amateurs that try to hack stuff together that are really doing this. If you want to build a real business, do what real businesses do and use tools that were designed for the proper job.
Perfect, yeah.
Automating mail messages. That's obviously an autoresponder, and if you don't have one, then what are you waiting for? Automating content delivery, especially if you're doing membership sites, time releasing content and drip feeding it over a period of time automatically. You shouldn't have to be manually going in there and releasing content to customers.
Yeah.
Automating membership management. This is a mistake. And when we had one of our big launches, we did $1.4 million in 10 days. So excited. It was exciting times. I had a lot of fun, but thank God I wasn't doing the customer support, because it actually took support 8 minutes to process a single refund, because they had to disable that commission from any affiliate. They had to remove that person from the buyers list inside of the autoresponder. They had to refund the person the commission, and of course they had to deactivate that person from the membership area. Because we had 4 different systems trying to run 4 different parts of our business, it meant that things just took time.
And a nightmare.
Nightmare, absolutely inefficient.
But because you had the system, someone else did it for you.
because I had to, but it was a customer support cost that we had to bear, and it was just inefficient. See, now because we use FusionHQ for everything we do, it takes us about 30 seconds to issue an entire refund, and that's across the board, does everything. It is reversing the commissions for affiliates, it's disabling membership level access, and it's removing people from buyers lists, etc., so that now everything is running as it should be.
Perfect.
Being able to template my funnels and page layouts, etc. The reality is that the majority of the business is once you create a structure that's working, you just want to repeat it and scale. So being able to simply click a button and actually duplicate an entire process or an entire page without having to rebuild it all, it sounds so obvious, yet you can't believe how amazing it was the first time we experienced that.
Yeah.
Because none of the other systems that we were using could do that. And it's just sped up, again, the amount that we're able to get done in a very short period of time, which is all about that scalability and efficiency. And again, this is another thing, but team members to run tasks for you. Sounds obvious, right? I mean, as you grow, you're not going to do it all yourself. But the number of systems I come across that have no capacity for enabling people to give access to VAs. I mean, PayPal does this. They understand this. They allow you to set up a support person that can access your account with limited functionality. Right? They can issue a refund or they can handle a transaction, but they can't do transfers or anything like that.
Yeah.
Well, the truth is you need that across the board. You need your customer support to be able to go in and manage customer accounts. You need designers to go in and help design your sales funnels, or affiliate managers to run the affiliate side of your business. You may be doing it all yourself right now, but you won't be forever. Not if you're really going to grow. And so you need to make sure that whatever system that you're using has this ability to allow you to grow in the future.
And the access is there, granted for the people where it's needed, and that can, obviously everyone's feeding into the same ship.
Now, obviously, I'd love you to get FusionHQ, but at the end of the day, it may not be right for you. It may not be what you're looking for. But what I really encourage you to do is to ask yourself these questions like, can it allow me to grow? Is it allowing me to do this? These are the kind of questions that you need to ask yourself about any decision that you're making when you're investing into tools.
Will it take me closer to where I want to go in a more efficient manner, and will it allow me to grow as a person and a business? Yeah.
Because too many people are short-term thinking, and that's why they end up just struggling month in, month out, year in, year out, wondering why they're not getting the success they're looking for.
And I think I know one of those people.
Right. and this is the reality is you can't do everything on day one, but you do need to plan from day one.
I mean, this one for me hits home, because I'm not the most detail-orientated person, as you might have guessed. But when you speak about this, it really hits home the importance. Even if I'm not a detailed person, I need to take that time to break through that, because what I can do from the beginning by planning, will allow me to be less detailed in the future.
Exactly. It's all about clarity and focus.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's just to sort of summarize 9 action steps that you can take right now to start really making your business take off. The first is to decide on your goal and to choose the best business model that's going to meet your objective. If your objective is to make $500 a month, if your objective is to make $5,000 or $50,000 or $5 million a month, then your goal and your structure is going to be different.
Yeah.
Create a lead capture page and start building a list as soon as possible. As I say, money's in the list. Start building it. It's not going to build itself. Use an autoresponder to create automated follow-up and delivery of e-courses. Build your relationship with your prospects, and to follow up with leads on offering affiliate products or your own products. Promote affiliate offers, exactly this, so that you're building a back-end income, and you're using that autoresponder to create basically an automatic cash machine. I know it's an overused phrase, but it's true. It really does. When you see money coming in and day out without actually making any effort, past the initial setup and running of the structures in the first place, it's amazing. Create an authority site. And I find that this is better than a blog. I mean, blogging may suit you, but I think it's one of those things that's overdone. It doesn't suit everybody. I tried blogging. I hate blogging. Blogging to be effective needs to be done daily, or at least
be a good writer.
You need to be a good writer
and love it
and enjoy it. But it needs to be done at least 3-4 times a week, if not daily. Some of the real big blogs, they're posting multiple times a day.
Yeah.
And I know I'm just too lazy for that. Life gets in the way, you forget about it, whatever, right? And you go to a blog and it's like 3 months out of date, you don't take the person seriously or credit. It's not credible anymore.
Yeah.
So an authority site is timeless. Create an authority site full of information. Unless you're in the gossip niche or the technology niche, obviously then the information is not so timeless. But if you're teaching marketing strategies or you can update it with new ideas and new information, but those ideas should be fairly long term.
Yeah.
Build your product. Enough said. Create a membership site to deliver your product and content.
Yeah.
Again, automating the delivery of your product just saves so much time. Creating a sales funnel to sell your product.
Yep.
And then finally, creating an affiliate program to generate that traffic for you 24/7. And you'll see there that these 9 action steps follow the 4-step process. They're just making it that little bit more broken down and that little more clear. And then basically just rinse and repeat. Greg Jacobs here, just another quick testimonial, but it's like no glitch, trick, or loophole. FusionHQ is the last word in an internet marketing toolkit. And he actually made this comment a little while ago, and we've done so many improvements since then.
Yeah.
And we're improving all of the time.
And he did a launch. He used Fusion for his launch as well.
Yep. So you might have heard it said, wealth is not how much you make, it's how much you keep. I want to just put a little twist on this and say passive income is not how much you make, it's how much you automate.
True.
Do you have a clear plan for automation? Okay, we talked about being too cheap, but at the same time, there's no need to waste money either. And so this is a slide from one of our affiliates who did a webinar. Actually, they did a webinar because they were so impressed with the platform, and they started off as our customers and then decided to promote it to their audience. And this was a slide from their webinar. Basically, they realized that they'd been spending about $5,000 for every product that they would create and set up. Buying the scripts, installing, getting programmers and coders to set things up for them, and then the monthly fees from having an autoresponder, hosting, affiliate tracking systems, etc., etc. All of this, they realized they were saving about $5,000 upfront per project, and about another $1,500 per month just running their business. So, you know, it's don't be cheap, but then don't be foolish either.
Yeah.
Start with the end in mind, as I mentioned. Be clear about which source of traffic that you are using to generate to your sites, and make sure that you have the ability to grow. So make sure that whatever platform that you're using allows you to build SEO content sites, allows you to optimize for pay-per-click traffic, allows you to have integrated affiliate tracking and systems in place, because you're going to want them as you grow. And you don't want to keep switching platforms or having difficulties or learning new systems each time that you start expanding your business. Gideon, good friend of mine, he's become a good friend of mine over the years, and basically I have a lot of respect for Gideon. So I was really pleased when he gave us this feedback that really he's just, you know, that we are the best internet marketing software, period. And again, you know, just as a comment that he made, and I asked him if it was okay, I could use this. It came from another Skype chat, but he was just like, my deliverability is way better with FusionHQ than he was using Aweber. And one of the reasons is simple, is because with us you can set up your own SMTPs. Yep. Again, you don't see the big businesses, big companies don't use companies like Aweber because they can't use shared IPs. The deliverability is just not there, no matter how hard you try. So you want to make sure that you've always got that ability to be able to get your own IP, dedicated IP address, and mail from your own SMTP, your own email addresses, etc., so that you get that deliverability. That's critical to an internet marketer when email is so important to their business result. All right, time to get real.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Look, I mean, again, I've had people complaining to me, and like usually we sell FusionHQ, and it's I'll tell you up front now, the normal rate is $200 a month.
Yeah.
And I have people complain to me that that's way too expensive, and I'm like, well, look. Here's the thing. You see a guy drive up in a Bentley and you say, wow, you've got obviously a higher standard of lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
You know that. And say, well, to manage this level of lifestyle, and how much do you spend, like invest per month to manage this kind of level of lifestyle? I mean, if you said like $200 a month, you run your entire business to create this Bentley grade lifestyle, he'll laugh at you, right? Yeah. I mean, you just know it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yet the number of people go, oh, I couldn't afford it. Oh, it's too much. Or it's ridiculous. You have to invest in your business if you want to get to that level.
It's a thinking mentality of, you know, limiting yourself.
Exactly. You think cheap, stay cheap.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got to invest, and that's the reality. And if you're not prepared to do that, then, you know, I'm a bit blunt about things, but I say just basically give up and go home.
That's just one direct way of saying it.
I'm blunt about it, but look, that's the reality. You know, go get a 9-to-5 job and enjoy your savings. Yep. There's nothing wrong in that. There's no judgment around that. For some people, that's far more suitable. But if you really want to make it online, you really want to build a business, then it's time to get real. You need to invest. Yeah, okay, well, another testimonial thrown in there. So what is it? Let's get down to the nuts and bolts. What are we actually offering today? I mean, obviously you know this point's coming, so let's get to it. Well, basically we're going to give you the whole FusionHQ platform for a year, and that's a solid $2,000 worth of value. And this includes all of the autoresponders, hosting, etc., etc., everything that you need to build your business. We're also going to give you access to Fusion Dojo restricted area, and that's got a bunch of training on traffic generation and copywriting. We've also got a pile of royalty-free stuff in there, like PSD templates and graphics and royalty-free audio, stuff that you need to build your products and help make your sales pages look that much better. And
even recently, just going through it myself, as the graphics and that are incredible, because there's so much for me to play with and use. And I actually realised recently, speaking to some people, the importance of graphics actually converting way better. And instead of having to sign up for a membership for the graphics, you've got that all provided.
Right, and we've tried to remove any of the rubbish, you know, so that you see lots of graphics packs out there, and most of them are just full of junk.
Yeah.
So we're really just trying to make sure that whatever you're getting is of a high enough standard that we would be proud to use it.
Perfect.
We're going to start a training academy, and this is starting on the 1st of October. And the training academy is going to be, not just how to use FusionHQ. That's obviously going to be a big part of it. But it's also how to build these businesses, how to structure them in more detail, how to go through the different business models of being an affiliate marketer, do list building, creating your own products, building an affiliate database, how to do things like SEO. And taking you through one step at a time, each of those, that 4-step process, and then expansion and beyond. And so we're going to be talking to different experts to help you with that. We're going to run a bunch of different webinars and different bunch of training, and then of course relate it back to FusionHQ so you know exactly what you're doing and you can see it being built in front of you. This is massive. I mean, this is the same kind of like information that other people are going to be selling easily for $1,500, $2,000 courses.
I mean, yeah, that's courses on its own.
Yeah. We're also going to throw in 5 Fusion boxes. So for those of you who don't have a business yet, these are like ready to go businesses. We've written a sales copy. We've created the product. We've built an autoresponder, and they can be installed literally in 60 seconds, configured to your PayPal account, your email addresses, everything, your name in the sales pages. All of the customization is done for you, and each one installed in just 60 seconds using that sort of that simple install process.
And I had a look recently, even when I was learning myself, that it's really no technical stuff required on that at all.
And look, I'll be honest with you, you're not going to become a millionaire out of this. I'm not going to sit down and say, wow, just install this business and call this, you've got business, you're going to become a millionaire overnight. Rubbish. Of course you're not, right? But sometimes it's good to have something that you can start with and actually start making money. Yeah. Just get started. Have something that's in place that you can start tweaking and learning from. So if you're a real total beginner, you're not going to be able to create everything overnight. So having something in a foundation that you can start working with, start modifying, understanding, and just get going is really important.
And one thing as well that I found, what I used this for myself, was I sat down and I thought I knew all the processes quite well, but when I sat down and saw that you had this mapped out for me, I could actually see how everything would work from the capture page going through to the sales funnel. And it really, for a mind who's not very detail orientated, this gave me a great overview, and then I knew from this I could model it into my own business.
Right. And if you said each business was worth a modest $400, and I mean, let's be honest, to get a professionally written sales copy is going to cost you really $2,000. So I mean, it wouldn't be unrealistic to put an actual value on this of more like $10,000 plus. That's just thrown in there to help those of you who are just really beginning to get started. In addition to that, we've got like actual layouts, as you've seen, of ready to go business templates. These are the business models that we've been talking about, variations of those business models, and they've been structured for you so you can install them and then just go through and change the copy or change the images and insert your own products into that business model. And they're completely flexible. You can change anything, the templates, the layouts, add an upsell, delete a downsell, whatever you may want, you can totally change it.
Simply click and install your information onto the pages, import it, and then you're good.
But this is the same kind of structures that used to take us 4 or 5 weeks to create, can now be done in 60 seconds at a click of a button.
Perfect.
We've also going to give you access to last year's Fusion Dojo live event, and this was a 7-day event that we put on here in Chiang Mai. We had speakers fly in from around the world, and the ticket price was $1,500. I met somebody the other day who's still carrying around the workbook, and I know they're not the only one, because the checklists in there are so useful. The step-by-step processes in that workbook are just so useful for people. It makes sure that you don't miss anything, and it just saves a lot of time and avoids a lot of mistakes.
I'm looking forward to that as well this year. Haven't been before.
So we'll give you the full access to last year's event. Help you get going. We're also going to have community support, so by becoming a member of the FusionHQ family, you'll get access to the other FusionHQ members, and you can communicate, talk together, help each other out, build your teams with each other, if you swap ideas or swap skill sets, or let's say team up together, JV together, whatever you want. But we don't just leave you sitting there on your own trying to get peer support. We provide you with support as well. We've got solid unlimited email support. We're just introducing a premium phone line support service now to get to, really get people to show you how to do stuff and screen share, etc.
Crucial. After so many
Absolutely.
times I've had years, you send an email and just sometimes you want that extra interaction just to get through that.
If you're a real visual, to have somebody to sit down and just show you, look, click here, okay, got it.
So they'll do that with you.
They'll do that with you. So we're throwing in that support as well now. All right, so here's a quick summary of everything that you're going to get. You're getting 12 months free of FusionHQ access. You're getting access to the Fusion Dojo restricted area. Remember, that's all of the graphics and audios that you're going to need to help build your products and your sales pages. Pile of extra training in there as well, even on stuff like traffic generation and just business systems, copywriting. Heap of extra bonuses in there. You're getting access to the Fusion Dojo Academy. That was the training program that we're about to start beginning of October, and we're going to be going into real detail on a whole heap of stuff, both using FusionHQ V2 and on all of the extra information you're going to need to plan your business and to run your business and to generate the traffic and everything else. We're going to give a whole pile of fresh stuff, get a bunch of other people's opinions in there as well. So it won't just be me. We're going to get access to the replays from last year's Fusion Dojo live event. That was 7 days of content where we actually built sites live at an event, did a launch live on the stage, and you'll get to see a breakdown of all of that. We've got the 5 ready to go businesses. These are in a bunch of different niches, so like personal development, we've got make money online, natural health. So we've got the major ones. I think there's one in relationships. So they're ready to go, ready to install. Great for the absolute beginner. For those of you who know exactly what you're doing, you've already got your own product, you're ready to get started, and you're just looking at the foundation, you'll get the expert business template. Now I just demonstrated one. We've got a whole pile more that we're just transferring over. We had a heap in the version 1. We're just upgrading them all now so that they're compatible with the V2 template mobile responsive themes. You're also getting access to the customer support membership, community support, which is basically an interactive forum of our users, so people can network together, build up their own teams together, share their projects together, help each other out with ideas about how to squeeze the absolute most out of FusionHQ. We've also got the live support, and that's where you can call in, you can email or you can call, and you can get people to share the screen with you to show you how to actually do what you're trying to figure out. So if you ever get stuck, it's all right, you're not alone. We're there to support you. Remember, it's all about having a team. So the total value of that is an easy 9,700. I mean, and that's without really kind of stretching things. So obviously I'm not here to sell you on 9,700. You know that. So forget that. But what the deal is today, if you act fast, and I mean this isn't going to last long, we can't keep this price. This is really because it's a launch special. It's an introductory price for the new version. It's $997. You just got to go to www.v2.fusionhq.com. So that's v2.fusionhq.com. If you go there, you'll see an exact breakdown of the package. You'll see the option to buy now, and you can take advantage of this right this minute.
Just got a question come through now. Anne's just asked, would she get upgrades for free? So if Fusion's going to upgrade in the future, like little bits, would that be free for a user?
Oh, absolutely. And it's not little bits. Yeah. We're upgrading a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, constantly adding new features. We've been doing this for 5 years, and we plan to keep doing it for a lot longer.
Wow.
There's no end to this. Every time we think we've like got all the features we could possibly find, we're coming up with new ones. And of course, it's user driven. This is the great thing. The users themselves are always submitting ideas, and we're constantly adding those to our to-do list. So a lot of the design and the features that you see, it's all about what you, the user, wants. and we start creating those and say, you know what, that's a really freaking good idea. Let's add that into the system.
I just had a question from Gary, who's just asked, is there any extra hidden costs or monthly costs that you're not sharing with us now, or is that the price?
No, not at all. That is the price. It's all inclusive. You don't need any extra autoresponders. You don't need any extra hosting. You don't need any extra products or services out there to run your business. We run basically everything that we have off FusionHQ. So basically what you see is what you get. Now, if you want to upgrade the size of your list, your autoresponder list sizing, then yes, you can do that, but it's just a very, very small monthly fee of like $15 per 7,500 users, which you'll find is extremely competitive. And so you can upgrade extra account size if you need that, but for the majority of our users, they never need, what they see is all they need. You can get a breakdown, as I say, if you go to v2.fusionhq.com, and you'll see exactly what's included in the package. There's nothing hidden. We're not hiding anything from you. I want you to think about this just for 1 minute. But, life is on an average only 4,000 weeks long. And when I first heard that, that was like a shock to me. It was like a slap in the face. Now, if you sit down and you figure this out, for the majority of us, and basically all of us on this call, we don't have 4,000 weeks left. Right? Nobody knows how long this life is, but for the majority of us, we're already significantly far enough in our life that we've at least lost one, if not 2 or more thousand of these. For most of us, we're only looking at 1.5 to 2,000 weeks left.
Yeah.
That's, really, it just shows you how important time actually is. Because when you think about it, Tom, how quickly did last week go?
For me, yeah, in a blink. You think at the beginning of the week it's all ages ahead, and then the next thing you know, it's a Sunday.
It's before you know it, 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Like the last 4 weeks have been a blur for me.
Yeah.
And, that's 4 weeks out of 4,000. That's 1,000th. Just like that, in a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
We don't get that many, and so it's really important that we use our time efficiently. So many people just waste their life, or worse, the number of people who try to save money, and I was doing this for 4 years. 4 years, that's like over 200 weeks out of that, just trying to figure out how to use WordPress and configure it and set it up correctly, and driving myself insane trying to integrate it with Aweber. 4 years of my life. For what? Just to try and save money because I wouldn't invest in something that would just run my business efficiently from day one. Insane. Absolute madness. Thankfully I've learned from that now. So I want you to really consider how valuable is your time. And if you're serious about getting started, then today is the only day you ever have. It's as easy as that. You only have today. So if you're going to take action, then you should do it right this minute. Absolutely no waiting. So, again, just to put the URL up there, this offer is only going to be available for a couple more days. So you really do need to take action as soon as possible. So go to v2.fusionhq.com and get started. Remember, it's zero risk, right? At the end of the day, give us a try. If it's not everything we've promised you, if you don't 100% love FusionHQ in the same way that I do, then just simply say so and we will happily refund you your money. We really don't want customers that are unhappy with us in any way. So if you're not 110, 510% extremely happy with FusionHQ, then just simply say so. We're not going to give you a hard time over it. We understand that, nothing is for everybody. We know that. So if you give it a try and you decide that this is absolutely for you, then we want to welcome you as part of the FusionHQ family. We want to take you in and we want to help you become successful. If your business model, for whatever reason, doesn't work, or our style of building sites or whatever it might be just doesn't suit you, no hard feelings, absolutely none whatsoever. Just say so within 30 days and we will happily give you a 100% full refund.
Lucy just messaged to say that she's really keen and interested, and obviously the 30 days gives her some reassurance. But she just wanted to know if there is going to be support and training, because she said she's up for it. She really likes the look of the system, but she probably would need a bit of support.
Yeah, look, like I said in the bonuses, what you're going to get is two things. Is basically email support that's available all of the time. You can just simply go in, contact. We've had some of the feedback we've had about our support desk has been just legendary. I'm really proud of our support girls. They do an incredible job. However, if you need that extra assistance, we also have the phone number you can call in and contact the guys, and they will walk you through. If they can't just give you a verbal answer, they'll actually share the screen with you and walk you through how to do what you're trying to do wherever you're getting stuck. Because we recognize that just simply sometimes you just need a bit of visual hand holding, and so that's all in place for you.
Brilliant. And another question that says, what's the difference between this and the Fusion Pages that they opted into? Because Fusion Pages was what they got.
Yeah, I know a lot of people listening to this call will have a Fusion Pages account at the moment. So I know there's a lot of visual similarities because there's a lot of the functions that you're getting in Fusion Pages that you're getting in FusionHQ as well. However, the Fusion Pages is scratching the surface. I mean, yes, you need to build your squeeze page, which Fusion Pages can do. Yes, you need to be able to build your list, which Fusion Pages can do. And you need to be able to build a bit of an autoresponder, which Fusion Pages can do. But that's where it sort of really stops. FusionHQ picks up when you need to build the sales funnels, when you really need to go in there and have sales pages to sell your products, to build your authority sites, your content sites, your SEO sites, to build your membership websites, to drip feed your content over a period of time, to have a much bigger mailing lists, to be able to have more hosting, to be able to host your media files for your video content. Even we also integrate with things like S3, Amazon S3, and you can integrate with YouTube and anywhere else you may want to store video files. But there's actually a CDN, a media storage server inside of FusionHQ as well. So you get all of that. You get the affiliate tracking. This is critical again when you want to start building your traffic and really start driving traffic to build your business or to do launches. Then again, you're going to need FusionHQ.
And someone also just said about the hosting with Fusion. What can they use their own hosting or?
We, as I mentioned, we provide cloud hosting, which is absolutely awesome. But sometimes, especially let's say for the advanced guys out there doing advanced SEO, that you shouldn't have all of your sites on the same IP address, right? It's not going to help you when you're building kind of linked sites together. Sometimes maybe you're doing a project with a friend. And in which case maybe they want it on their hosting, or whatever the reason, it doesn't matter. We've got the ability for you to integrate your own hosting. You just enter the FTP details and then you can just click the one-click upload and your whole site will go to your own hosting. So you can mix and match. You can have some projects that are on our hosting, some projects that are on other hosting, and you're not limited to just one other hosting account. You can add as many hosting accounts as you like in. So that basically you could have 50 different hosts if you wanted to, and have websites on each of those different IP addresses. Again, great for those people doing more advanced SEO strategies.
And another thing someone's asked about is when you renew after the 12 months, is the cost going to go up, or will their loyalty be rewarded by keeping it similar price? What's the offer for people after the 12 months?
Yeah, again, this is something we want to try and keep as simple as possible. We were thinking about doing it for $14.97, and which would already be a nice heavy discount, but just for simplicity we're going to keep it at $9.97. So you lock in your price today and you'll get that for life. That basically means each year you just simply renew again at the $9.97, which is just an insanely phenomenal discount. If for whatever reason you want to switch to monthly, then it would be $147 monthly a year from now. So the choice is yours, and we'll come to that bridge in a year, and we'll give you the choice whichever way you want to go. And of course, there's no commitment. If you decide you don't want to renew, not a problem.
Tony just asked about the can he replace his WordPress with this?
Yeah, an interesting question. We get this one a lot. So Tony, it really depends on what you're going to be doing with your account. For the majority of answers, I have to say yes, absolutely, you can totally replace it. If you are doing, if you're using if you're using WordPress as a blog, then my suggestion is you keep it. I mean, WordPress is an incredible blog. It's an awesome tool for being a blog. That's what it was designed for. That's what it does best. And the difference with FusionHQ is that we've designed sales funnels to be sales funnels. We've designed membership sites to be membership sites, content sites to be content sites. That means the code is specifically designed and sort of targeted for that specific purpose, which means it's optimized to be as good as it can be to be a sales funnel. WordPress is not designed to be a sales funnel. It's not designed to be a membership site. It shouldn't be used for those things. In honesty, it's not even really designed that well to be SEO optimized. You have to add plugins. You have to, and this is the problem with WordPress. You go in, it gets hacked all the time because it's open source, which means any hacker can see what the code is, and so WordPress is constantly fighting to stay one step ahead. That means you constantly got to keep updating it. That means you've got to constantly rely that the plugins that you're using are also being updated and don't start conflicting with each other, which often they do. So for the large majority of people, I'd say out there, you shouldn't be using WordPress. WordPress is an outdated solution that, back 5-8 years ago or more, it was a less than perfect solution, but it was one of the better solutions at that time, right? I mean, you just, it was free, it was easy to install, there was all sorts of plugins that could make it do different things, but ultimately it was just a hack job to overcome the lack of a real solution in the market at that time. And a lot of the gurus at that time jumped on, that's what they taught, and unfortunately it's been this outdated belief ever since that people should be using WordPress. They shouldn't.
And will there be new templates coming from your team? Will they be updating new templates?
Yep. We've got a full-time design team working on creating new templates all of the time. There's both the themes, there's the look and the style of the sites. They'll be constantly being added new themes, and also the actual business templates themselves. So the different business models, will be adding more of those in all of the time.
So for people, again, what was the address they have to go to today?
So yeah, just to go there to get your access right now. And again, if you sign up this minute, you'll get instant access. Your account will be created immediately. You'll be able to get straight in there, get started right in this minute. That's v2.fusionhq.com. So go there right now and secure your access while it's this insanely stupid cheap launch price. Okay, so sorry, we're just getting quite a few more questions coming in. Sarah, the offer is only going to be open for a couple more days. And if you're watching this later on, then it could be even less. It could be just, I don't know, could be minutes or hours, because when we send out this as a replay, it's really not going to have much time left when you watch this. So I'm sorry about this. It was a bit of an emergency webinar to try and really cover a lot of people's questions and sort of help people get a real visual of what FusionHQ actually is.
That's excellent. That's excellent.
Okay, sorry, Bill. Selling sites. Yeah, that's another common question we get. For a lot of people, FusionHQ is really designed for you to manage and build your own business, but we appreciate that there's some of you out there that your business is actually to sell a website. So if you want to build a content website for a local business, for example, then what you need to do is you simply build the business inside of FusionHQ. You get them to have their own hosting. You basically sell the site, and once you've got the money, upload the site. So you can actually keep it on your own hosting. You can give them a preview access once the client is happy with the site that you've built them. You take your payment, and then you just simply get the FTP details off them for their own hosting, and you upload the website to their own hosting, and that way you can actually sell the websites to your customers. Not a problem.
And the other one that someone said here is, what payment gateways do you support?
All right, and another good question, right? So basically we integrate with a whole heap of different payment gateways. So obviously PayPal is the classic, but we also integrate with, for the US guys out there, we integrate with Authorize.net, popular one there. We integrate with Alipay, which is very, very big in particularly in China. We integrate with a Vietnamese gateway, so the Vietnamese guys out there, you can integrate when actually take offline payments, which is really awesome, because we recognize that not everybody is using credit cards. For the Asian countries, the Eastern European countries, Russia. So for Russia and Eastern Europe, we integrate with Adyen. They're actually a global gateway, but they're very, very big in Eastern Europe and across Russia, because they allow you to take offline payments and still be able to track the actual payments, so that you can then authorize the release of digital content or pay out and track for affiliates, etc. Huge. For the Aussies, we've got eWay, very big in Australia and New Zealand. So we integrate with eWay. There's a bunch of others as well. In addition to that, we actually have an app that we've created that if you've got a coder, they can actually create a small piece of code that will integrate with our app and link it to most payment gateways out there. So if you've got a payment gateway that's not currently supported, then you can actually get a coder to create an interface that will work with virtually any payment gateway out there. And of course, again, it's one of those things that as new payment gateways become popular and on the market, and as we get more time, we continually add new payment gateways to our list of supported accounts. So for those of you out there still sitting listening to me, I'm not sure what you're doing, go to www.v2fusionhq.com. It's v2.fusionhq.com, and as soon as you've created that, gone through the checkout process, your account will be immediately created, and you should be seeing. So for those of you, and I can see some of you have already done this, so welcome, Mohammed. Good to have you on board, and and all of the others currently joining, a big warm welcome from the FusionHQ family. The support girls are sitting there, and they're available to help you should you have any questions. If you do have any questions at this point, you can also contact support@fusionhq.com. That's support@fusionhq.com. And so if there's any questions that we don't get a chance to answer, I mean, obviously we're doing our best to get all of your questions cleared up right now. But if you're gonna get one, like 5 minutes after this call, half an hour after this call, a day after this call, whatever it might be, you can go to support@fusionhq.com and ask any questions you may have then.
Well, thank you so much for sharing all this. Obviously, so much content and so much stuff that you've shared with everyone. I mean, it's been amazing what Fusion have put together here. And for anyone at home, I mean, Leon's just scratching the surface today for you. There's so many benefits you can get from this software, and in the long term, it's going to save you so much headache. You're going to have one place for all this. But yeah, so thank you for sharing all that content. And
my absolute pleasure. Just a last minute question coming in there from Junie. Junie, can you customize sites? Look, absolutely. You can customize the look, the feel, the design, the layout. The whole point of FusionHQ is flexibility. The idea is that we recognize that so many people have different business models and they have different needs. And those needs and those models will evolve over time. You're going to start by just simply needing to build a list. Then you're going to move in and you're going to want to build a back-end revenue by following up with by promoting affiliate offers. Then you're going to want to build your own product. You're going to want to customize and optimize and drive traffic to that. And you're going to want to drive traffic in different ways, using SEO, using pay-per-click, using affiliates, using social media. You're going to need to have a site that is compatible with all of these different traffic generation methods as you add them to your belt. And then of course, as I say, you're going to want to build your affiliate programs. You're going to need that as a traffic generation method. So this 4-step process that we looked at earlier, building your sites, building an income off promoting other people's products, building your own product, and then getting other people to promote your product, to then repeat the cycle of expanding the size of your list, the quality of your list, being able to promote more people's products, etc., etc. This whole loop is an evolution, and the trouble that I see most people have is that they simply look at one element of this and they try and find a tool that solves that one problem. Right? Well, that's great for a very short period of time, but when they realize that when they need to get to the next step in their business, that tool is no longer sufficient, it's just focusing in on one little aspect of the bigger picture here, then they're unable to scale or expand their business. They then have to go back and reset the learning curve. They then have to go and add another tool to their tool belt. They have to perhaps even replace the original tools because they just simply weren't robust enough. I mean, we have people who are absolute total beginners. And then we have other people who have 6-7 figure a year businesses. So we've proven that the FusionHQ platform enables you to start from the very beginning and go right through to the very end of your business building process, and continually keep scaling, systematizing, expanding, and growing your business. And we're constantly, as I say, adding new features and functionalities to assist you to do that. But even right now, right this minute, there is so much in there. There's all you really need to actually get that business going.
That's excellent. That's excellent.
So, v2.fusionhq.com, the offer is not going to be lasting very long, because essentially, this is just a launch offer. And once it's gone, the full price will be going back up. Basically it's going to cost you about $197 a month for our pro account. So, I really don't want you to regret this later. Get in there, get it now, and we'll just, if you're not happy, we'll refund, not a problem. So there's zero risk. Take advantage of it today. Absolutely, take advantage right now. Go to v2.fusionhq.com and we'll welcome you as part of the FusionHQ family immediately.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Leon.
Thanks, Tom, and we'll see you on the other side, as they say.